Hi everyone, Alex here. I'd just like to take a moment to thank some of our patrons. Jennifer Payton, Camilla Sutton, Charles Craig, Igor Nikolskiy, Brianna, Cara Marten, Lauren Coleman, Wim, Shawna Bracken, Callie Shearer, Zalia Chimera, Christopher Nies, Maxwell Skrocki, Phillip Platt, Aurora B, Johnny Dangerously, Athena Frade, Lais Rojas, Iris, Kim Cuthbertson. Thank you all. We really appreciate your support. If you'd like to join them, go to www.patreon.com/Rusty Quill and take a look at our rewards. Hello and welcome to episode 129 of the Rusty Quill Gaming Podcast. I'm your host and GM Alex Newall. With me today I have
Ben Meredith,
Bryn Monroe,
and Helen Gould.
And who are you playing?
Azu.
Hamid Harun Al-Tahan,
Zolf Smith.
Yeah! We've been discussing how long it's been. Really long time.
2 years
Yeah.
since in
Really?
the instructions.
Although, as Helen pointed out, like 2 weeks.
Well, no, it depends. 2 weeks or 2 years. They both actually kind of check out.
Oh, that's
in
true,
game.
actually, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes!
Sorry, how much lived experience? About 2 weeks.
I have genuinely tried to more or less sync it up so that for Zolf, about as much time has passed as the recording. So everything's fine, everything's squared up. Everyone who accuses me of, this whole campaign's crushed into a tiny amount of time, I'm like, no, it's not. It's actually really long running.
Still is.
It still is.
You are the ones who are wrong.
And also, you did that time skip in uptime, not downtime, so you still don't give these characters any chance.
Oh, you want downtime? All right. That's fine.
Oh, why did you have to
She
say
we're
was
gonna-
locked in a cell.
This
for
was
a week.
already planned.
Right.
Bottle
So we
episode.
I love a
are
bottle episode.
we are picking up where we left off as a brief rundown because we probably do have some new listeners. It's been a fresh season, and this is the first couple of episodes of the brand new timeline, I
How
suppose.
exciting.
Hey, guys.
So
Should have started last episode.
Or the one before, which is the actual beginning of the season.
I'm not keeping track.
what remains of the party?
Do you have to phrase it like that?
Were teleported to Japan, where they immediately went to an inn of some kind and were treated to some lovely drinks. Basically
We
passed out,
treated ourselves to them.
fell through the floor, and woke up in a cage
The worst.
with basically an old friend. I think that's fine.
It's not my friend.
So I am going to... Good, channel that. We are now going to pick up pretty much where we left off, which is... Hamid obviously just put the request in for a bunch of stuff. I'm going to leave it to you guys. Do you want to pick up exactly where you left off, or do you want a little bit of time? A little bit of cool down
Do you want to
time?
receive your
It's
gifts?
all good. You know what? I got time to kill. You want some downtime? Here's some downtime. You tell me, what do you want? Tell me what you want. I'll hook you up.
Bryn,
I'll
go
hook you
on.
up real good,
Go on,
Bryn.
Bryn.
I'll hook you up real good. Do you want that
really-
juicy drama?
I really, really, really want a zig R.
I'm not going to be your lover, okay? This is,
It's only one!
you've told people about Zolf Hammond shipping, so don't...
Yeah, how does Zolf respond to my demands?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I can get you that stuff. I'm surprised you need a mirror and everything. Anti-magic field, that's why. All right, yeah, sure. I'll go get you that stuff. Nice to see you again, Hamid. And I'll go get that stuff.
Zolf leaves.
What is happening?
I don't know. It's so... Zolf... Did we tell you about Zolf? He used to be part of the mercenary group before...
Yeah.
I guess he's working with Wild
Poseidon
now?
person.
Yeah, he was a cleric of Poseidon.
Right. Well.
I'm a bit surprised he's working with Wild again. They never seem to get on, but I guess while we were gone, Wild needed some reliable people, and they'd worked together before.
Right, okay. Here we go. So I pass some collapsible chairs and a collapsible picnic table through the bars. There you go. Make yourself a little more comfortable.
Thank you. I'm still a bit put out that you've decided to keep us in a cage.
Well, I mean, you know the situation, right?
Yes, I understand the situation. We could have been left in quarantine with our families back in Cairo. We were told we were needed here urgently, and we've had to leave them behind in a cage just to turn up here and be locked in a cage.
I thought we'd be being useful, not
I-
mistrusted.
Okay, on the timelines. Okay, this is not a world in which you can just afford to trust people. Now, I am going to be honest. I'm pretty certain Hamid ain't turned.
I can vouch for him.
Okay. And Hamid, this Azu, she's not left your... can you vouch for her?
I mean, as far as I understand it, we've been gone over 18 months and she's been in my presence the entire time, so yes.
Okay, so I still can't let you out, but this is why I can talk to you. That's trust in and of itself. I'm not giving information to people who could use it against us, but got to say, being Wild, had that sort of attitude, it'll be fine attitude. He's already been burned by it once, so we're sticking by the rules. And those are the rules. You know what's at stake, right?
Yes, I understand that. I'm just saying I would have liked to have spent this time with my little brother who's lost and alone in a different world if we were going to be in a cage regardless.
Wild and I didn't know that. Nor can we know that you're not lying, that that's where you were. We don't actually know exactly where you came from. Messages can be sent, but messages can't be verified beyond all reasonable doubt, right?
Fine,
this is the problem.
Fine.
This is the problem.
So tell us... look, it's been a long time, Zolf. How about we start with, what happened to you after we parted ways in Prague?
Azu starts to work out quietly in the corner.
She's I love the idea of
angry setups.
Just eyes on top, just bicep curling, going, yeah,
yeah.
I'm getting real prison intimidation vibes already from Azu.
I'm in a cell
for 5 minutes, and you're already like, well, time to buck up.
I've got to cut a guard. I've got to establish my dominance.
Where's your shiv? Come on.
I've got tusks.
And
bite my way out.
And an axe.
We've still got our weapons. Yeah.
How big is the cell, by the way?
It is about 10 feet by 10 feet.
So not big. That's 4 squares.
Okay, that's small enough for Azu to be on
honestly,
edge anyway,
it's close enough to the room that you're in right now.
Yeah, no, not good. Right. Yeah, she is genuinely going to be, doing push-ups and stuff.
Holding eye contact? Or trying to hold eye contact? Or ignoring?
She should ask Hamid to sit on her back to make it harder.
And lift you up with what?
Yeah. What she's doing bicep curls with is Hamid.
You're
while Hamid has a conversation with Zolf.
I mean, knowing Hamid, he'd be lulled to sleep, so...
Yeah, that's true.
And then we...
Look, I'm sorry I left you in Prague. I'm
I understand
not
it
proud
was
of that.
the right decision at the time, unfortunately.
Yeah, well...
We could have used your help, but that's the way of things.
Yeah, well, at that stage, I wouldn't have been much help. So...
You're not much help now, either.
Look, I get that you're obviously angry, and I understand that.
I'm more than angry.
Furious? Incandescent with rage?
am not going to talk to you about it,
Oh, it
actually.
is worth mentioning. Azu is not glowing.
Really?
Yeah, we're in an anti-magic field.
Oh!
You made it through Rome glowing. Not here.
Oh.
You know why that? You know what? You know that might be. I mean, it could just be because everything's your fault. Maybe that's why the glow went away.
Come on!
Boo!
Look, I just think that Azu needs an
Boo this
internal...
guy.
I think I need a bit more direct control of Azu's internal monologue. That's all I'm saying.
No.
Talking about paladins being fascists. So, I had a bit of soul searching to do, and I did. And me and Poseidon are not on speaking terms anymore.
Oh,
But that's fine.
you left the church?
Well, I mean, not officially. I just haven't spoken to them and rejected. Stuff has changed, but look, I spent some time wandering around the cities of Central Europe before everything kicked off, and had some thinking, and found out a little bit more about what my dad did with the Harlequins, and he was like a logistical freelancer for them. Gave him a hand, but wasn't the full member, so I decided, well, since I didn't have anything no direction, then that would be as good as anything to keep my mind off of stuff. So
You started working with the Harlequins?
sort of, yeah. Well, look, honestly, meritocrats aren't much better, so it's much for much, isn't it?
Well, I mean, only one of those two factions allowed a necromancer to rise in a city, leading to the deaths of hundreds of people, but sure.
And possibly is the cause of all of this, from what we were told.
Really?
What? I don't...
That man, Kafka, he was looking into the robot things. The simulacra.
I mean, not exactly. That wasn't the point I was making, really.
He's more... Apart from that whole thing, which obviously is not good, but from what Curie says, he was corrupted by a bad book. A Roman book, so that whole...
So it seems connected to me, that's all I'm saying.
Okay, but Kafka's probably connected to Simulacra stuff in the way that Henri was connected to the Simulacra stuff. So.
Well, whatever.
I was helping them out looking into the weather stuff. Remember? On the channel?
Yeah.
Well, it's obviously been getting worse, but I kind of hit a bit of a dead end. There was something doing it, and it was localised around coastlines, not open seas. So it seemed targeted to try and keep people... restrict communication.
Movement and...
Yeah. Isolate people, isolate regions. So, but that hit a bit of a dead end. So then we were contacted by Wild. He asked for me because he knew what I was up to, and then I've been helping him along with. Do you remember Barnes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's helping out, and this guy called Howard Carter.
Carter?
Are you joking?
Carter was a petty criminal and an idiot.
I mean, he's quite a good sneak thief. He's a bit of a...
I mean, he didn't
fell
seem
into
like
a
he had
trap.
any ability at all when we met him.
Well, okay,
Then he tried to bribe his way out of it.
I mean, I don't know what he was doing before then, but, he seemed like a bit of a Sasha. How is she, by the way?
We lost her.
Hamid just looks really sad. He doesn't...
Right, okay. Fair enough. Dangerous business and all that.
No, not fair enough. Very, very, very unfair. Extremely not good.
How much has
Bertie? Why haven't...
How much has Wild told you about what happened to us?
You went AWOL? You disappeared?
I mean, yeah, but before that...
Not a huge amount.
I mean, you surely must have heard what happened in Prague.
Well, with Kafka, yeah. Well, bits.
And Bertie dying?
That I didn't know.
What? How? It was literally in the papers.
I was not... As I said, I was not in the headspace where I was keeping up with... Anyway.
And
Fine, well, couldn't have happened to a...
And my
nicer
sister.
Guy. Right. Oh, I'm sorry about that as well. And
Well-
I am sorry I couldn't...
I assumed Wild would have filled you in, so yeah,
Well,
after
Bits and
Prague...
pieces, the relevant bits, not,
We met Newton. We found someone who'd been working with Kafka and Tesla on miniaturising the power source, the same one we found under the ordinateurs in Paris. We went to Cairo. We found a bunch of ciphered papers in the bank vaults and handed them over to Wild. We went to Damascus and traced the adamantine to the plant where we found a bunch of simulacra ready to be shipped, and we got Apophis to burn that to the ground. And
There was a factory.
then we found a
destroyed it.
factory underneath it, and we flooded that. And then the cult of Hades told us they'd kidnapped our family and Einstein told us they'd taken them to Rome, so we went to Rome to try and rescue them, and then we went into some sort of pocket dimension where time was running differently that might have been linked to Hades or something, and
Almost certainly linked to Hades.
How long is it?
we were
We were there
only
for about 10 minutes.
a few minutes, and when we came back, Einstein told us 18 months had passed.
Wait, so you're telling me that basically, as far as you're concerned, I left about 2 weeks ago?
I mean, more like a month maybe, but that sort of scale, yeah. It's all very fresh and recent. And
Right.
it was travelling back, after we'd found our family, travelling back from the other dimension that we lost Sasha and Grizzop, and we don't know what happened. The magic might have gone wrong. We might still have a way to find them, but we need the help of people, and the world is too messed up for anyone to help us with that right now. So we've just got to get on with it, and we can't spend time with our family. We can't help because we're strapped in this cage. Sorry. It's a lot. It's been a lot.
I know it's a lot. Look, I didn't realise you hadn't had that long to come to terms with everything. We've had 18 months to kind of know what's... I'm a lot more used to this than you two are, so maybe I'll sit quietly for a bit. Got to keep watch just in case.
In case what exactly? Like, are we
we
going
start
to
developing
explode?
blue lines on our face and turn evil?
Yeah, basically that. Pretty much that.
Right. As he moves over to Hamid,
So,
does a little pat.
Hamid grabs your hand and just squeezes it.
tell you what, I will sit quietly away and read my book. You two
Did you have the food and some water?
Yes. No, of course. I'll go get that. Like, I'll give you two some space. I don't, just... I'm going to go.
Bye. How far away are you? Like, are you far away that you would hear us if we were talking?
I will be leaving the room for now while I get food, but then I will come back. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how far away the food place is. Alex,
Extremely close. You have prepped for this eventuality, and also, you're in an inn.
yeah, that's true. I suppose then, as
You're
far as
stocked
you
for
know,
long-
I've gone out of the room. That's
Yeah.
actually it.
Okay.
You're stocked for long-term stuff.
Yes, I will be reluctantly listening to what they say because they could be spooky, corrupt
You're doing your
people.
job. Good.
Okay. Well, while you're gone, so as it says to Hamid, do you really think that we can get them back?
There's a chance. They were lost during the travelling spell. They could be somewhere else, or they could be stuck, a bit like the
Like Ed
others
was.
were. But they were actually in the other plane, and they could be stuck between planes, or they could be on a different plane, and
What would that mean?
it could mean anything. If they were stuck on a plane where time runs faster and everything's trying to kill them, they're probably... But they could be stuck on a plane where nothing much happens and time's slow, and we can find them.
Well, it's magic, so there's a chance. Yeah.
I think so. Curie said it was unlikely, but it's not impossible.
Isn't it ironic that we went to Rome to recover people and then we lost them anyway? Just
Right,
different ones.
so here you go. Some stuff. I'll just be in the corner reading them.
yes,
in the
bye.
book. Okay, yeah, bye. Well, not bye, I'm still in. Yeah, okay, bye.
I mean, it's different though, isn't it? Like, the others were hostages, and wherever Chryzop and Sasha are, at least they've got a chance. I hope they're together. I hope they look after each other. They're both survivors.
Yeah. Well, I hope we find out.
Too much else going on, but time probably isn't of the essence in a way. Either so much will have happened it won't matter, or not enough will have happened that it won't matter. Either way, I guess.
It's a brave new world.
The dramatic irony is very strong with this scene.
It's everything I wanted it to be more. I'm so happy.
I'll so off in the corner, like, just looks over from his book and says, I know, look, for what it's worth, you two being here as long as this whole trial period, as long as you pass your probation, as it were, you'll help getting stuff moving here. We've been at a bit of an impasse, so this is good that you're here. If, as I said, if you're not actually secretly evil.
Fine.
So what?
I'll go back to my book.
You said you were doing logistics and investigating the
me?
weather.
Yeah.
What else? When did everything go really wrong? And how did you end up in Japan?
Well, I'm not gonna talk about the mission. I'll talk about personal stuff. But,
Okay.
But Wild has something to do here, and that's what I've been brought in along with Barnes and Carter to do.
Is it a heist?
Again, I'm not going to talk about the mission because
I bet they're stealing something.
blue veins and all that stuff. But sorry, that's that one.
Can you tell us about the past then? You said Wild had been burned by trusting people. Like, it would this is the kind of thing it would be helpful to know, so we don't stumble into a situation and make everyone around us feel bad by asking questions when we haven't been adequately prepared.
Hamid, I'm sorry. I've already grieved. Thought you were all dead, and the fact that you turned up again is a surprise and gave me some hope. And Sasha's still gone, and none of us know what's happened to her. But I've already, as I said, it's been 18 months. I've already been through this. I've had time, and I'm sorry you haven't. But it's what I'm trying to give you.
I don't want to get used to losing people. It's been constant. I can't.
Hug. As he hugs Hamid.
Hamid hugs back.
Yeah. I think I would like to continue just holding you for the rest of the scene.
That's fine. I can make that happen.
Go back to the bicep crunches.
Oh yeah, but like just holding you closer.
But I understand that this new world we've found ourselves in, that everything's gone terrible and everyone seems to have hardened themselves to this constant loss and betrayal. And I just want to understand what people have been going through, because it's so different.
We were trying to stop something like this from happening, and
Well, I don't know if anyone could have stopped it. It might have been too big for individuals to be able to influence, but it might not be too big for individuals to undo. And that's that's what we're trying to do. And people are more guarded, but they haven't hardened up. Like, it has become that there is a default expectation of betrayal and loss, but that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt.
So we were told it started in London with riots.
that was happening while we were in Damascus, I think. So it
It
must
was
have
starting
started.
to, yeah.
Yes,
Is that
before
when?
we left.
Is that where it started? What happened next? I still want to get a sense of how things got so out of hand. Curie filled us in on a bit. She said, that started there and spread to Paris, and that Grieve got taken,
And yes, so you described what was described last episode.
Yeah.
I confirm that is what I know. And I think probably
you
Yeah, why
can't
don't-
add much more detail. Basically.
Why don't we take a break there, and we'll all catch up on info that you all already know.
I
and then be
need
back in a
more,
couple of
Alex.
minutes.
You need someone to give me more information.
I'm not as an exposition dump. I can't come back into your life and you just try and use me. God.
And welcome back. So, I am going to jump in a little bit here with Zolf, unfortunately, is not exactly a mine of information, because, unfortunately, a lot of the things that you want answers to, he either doesn't have or no one does. What I am going to suggest is, because you got at least a bit of time ahead of you, I might accelerate time at that point a little bit. It seems a sensible place. Mm-hmm. But I want to take my lead from you all. Where would you like to accelerate time to? If you want to skip to the end of 7 days, I can do that.
Should we do a halfway point?
Yeah, should we do a bit where we're halfway through and then one at the end?
Okay, cool. So what I'll do then is, as a brief overview of what happened, that might affect you in those days. So, day 1 passes. Day 2, I'm not going to tell your characters what your characters do. Every day, Wild will come in, have a look, have a talk with Zolf, and then leave. He won't say a word to either of you. He will look. If you speak to him, he will blank-faced ignore you.
Wow.
Just stonewall. Nothing. At all. Actually, both give me a sense motive check.
Yeah, okay.
Natural 20.
Good.
Oh, no, wait.
That makes sense. You actually know Wild a lot more, so that makes sense.
14.
14, okay.
But only because I've got 11
my
in sense motive.
my sense motive is only 3, but I did roll a natural 20.
Hamid, you notice that whenever he's looking at both of you, he's picked up a new mannerism that he didn't have before, which is he sort of gently strokes the scar, the new one on his face, when he looks at you both, just a little bit, and then he leaves. But yeah, nothing. If you let me know if you yell at him or scream at him, it doesn't matter. You are getting stonewalled the whole time.
What are the bars between us and the corridor made of again? Are they adamantine?
You'll have had the time to check. They are soot-blackened adamantine. So it's adamantine that someone has sooted up so they don't have any shine to them. And then there is mesh between the bars as well. There is one that doesn't have mesh, which is for Zolf to pass things through, but you aren't going to be able to throw things through there unless it's like a bit of water, maybe.
Hamid is pretty annoyed at the whole situation,
Yeah.
but he kind of also understands. He thinks that the other people are probably being reasonable, so he's not going to be angry at anyone. He's just going to be frustrated.
In which case, I will jump to the halfway point.
Right. 9 letters. 32 down. It's a word meaning extreme ability, often in sort of physical stuff. I don't know if that's anyone. I've got a...
Athletics?
No, so second letter is L, and last letter is Y.
I'm so bored of this.
Well,
It's...
I'm trying to make
I
it as entertaining as
understand.
possible.
I understand you have to keep us locked up. I mean... And we can't even just read the newspaper ourselves? That seems excessive.
No, I was doing the crossword. I was trying to...
I'd like to understand what's going on. I'd like...
We're not getting newspapers. This is a little book of crosswords I brought. I'm almost done now. They're almost all gone. I need a new one, but I can't get a new one unless it's in Japanese, but then I can't speak Japanese or read it, so that's basically it. So I was just trying to involve you in, I was trying to do something. I know what you think about that Campbell book, so I'm not going to read one out loud or anything. So
What's the Campbell book?
Harrison Campbell. He's a pretty good romantic novelist. I can lend you one if you want.
I'm going to give Ben a bit of an info dump. Despite everything that has been happening and everything, bizarrely, he absolutely hit the mainstream within sort of just when things started to get really bad. He was just exploding because he had a real prolific period and wrote basically what was considered his greatest work, which was about an incredibly arrogant, non-chivalrous knight sort of sweeping through the land and imposing himself on people, and everyone said it was a breakthrough piece. So bizarrely, he's now actually quite a well-known name, but unfortunately he was hitting it just as more important things came. So it's really difficult to get hold of his stuff, but a lot of people have now heard of him.
I give you the first book in the Hearts of Fire sequence.
What are they about?
About an unchivalrous knight who's held to a code against his will and has to act. It's Bertie. His encounter with Bertie inspired something really good. So yeah. So, but anyway, just don't ignore that bit. But the actual story is really, it's really good. And like all the. Now tell you what, I don't want to spoil it for you, so you can read it. And he rifles around in his bag and pulls out this like thick fantasy book.
It's unnecessarily thick. Like when I say prolific,
Hamid is trying really hard to show no reaction to any of this.
When I say
As he
prolific,
takes it
by the way, I mean
suspiciously.
like George R.R. Martin took a load of cocaine and wrote the entirety of Game of Thrones in a week.
So
Prolific.
Stephen King.
Yes, good. Appreciate that. Okay,
So,
Adam will
pass you
take it as if you are handing her a snake, but she will still take it because she's a doer.
Okay.
She's not doing anything.
Alacrity. It was alacrity. That was it. Right.
I'm going to jump ahead. So, unless anyone objects, I think it might make sense to jump to the end of the wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many of those Harrison Campbell books do you have?
Oh, it's about 23. Not all in the
Does-
Hearts of
does
Fire.
Azu
I
love them?
need to know what's Azu's taste in literature.
Oh gosh.
Trashy. This is trashy.
Well,
This
here's
is
the
real
thing.
trash.
He hit the mainstream, and bizarrely he found a new voice, and he took all of the bits that made his trashy novels successful, but added just a whole. He had a complete like epiphany.
It's really good trash.
It's trash, but it's amazing trash. It depends on your taste, but if you can get into that kind of vibe, it's a bit up itself, but if you get into it,
Is it a little bit Philippa Gregory?
I need a bit more.
She writes
Yeah, it's a historical
novels.
Yeah.
The Other Boleyn Girl. Also, all that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
stuff. Which is like
Oh,
super
yeah.
soap opera dramery trashy, but also well researched and like
Yeah,
Basically
Azu's
that.
totally into that because there wasn't much conflict or drama in her life, so she likes to. Well, until now.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But I mean, like when she was growing up,
Yeah.
people all tended to get on, and now she's reading about all the.
Like in terms of like the preempts, you notice the words modern classic,
Unputdownable.
indicative of our times, and it's basically, it is it's a send-up, or it's kind of almost like a satire, but it's a send-up of the sort of coming-of-age knight journey thing, and it's sort of a comment on that and blah, 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 blah. It's actually really good. It's very, very, readable. There's a reason he was getting successful.
Okay, yes, she reads as many of them as would be feasible.
I've got all of them.
Okay.
They're hard to get hold of.
Yeah.
But he's got them.
I know, I got them.
Can we just get
Do you
a
wanna
take
buy it?
of Helen reacting to one of the earlier books that Harrison Campbell wrote when Jennifer makes a terrible decision?
Well, it depends. It depends. When you finish the new series, do you go back to his earlier works, or do you want to stick with his best?
Yeah, she'll try something earlier, yeah.
I really excitedly hand you those. I can't remember what the name of that book is, but...
Oh, God.
So long ago.
When passions collide and things like that.
I think it was When Passions Collide.
Yeah.
Real Mills and Boone stuff.
These are real trashy, kind of saucy, mostly trashy. This guy had some kind of like life-changing moment, like some near-death experience or something fundamentally changed him for the better.
Okay.
Like someone went through fire, came out the other side, a writer.
I wish that's how it worked.
Does here!
She likes the earlier stuff more.
So, Zolf will just excitedly talk to you about all of the plot twists and this thing, and what did you think about this and that kind of stuff.
It's a safe topic that you could talk about for hours.
Yeah.
Hamid gets worse and worse at hiding his feelings as the week drags on.
So, I am going to jump to time is up. Zolf, you are not aware of the time for the sake of ease. Wild comes in. Closes the door. Leaves it unbarred, something he's never done before. Right. Time's up.
Oh, right. Brilliant.
Finally!
Okay.
Oh my God, can we please get out of here now?
Let us out.
I need a proper wash!
We've got baths to run for you, come on.
I walk in, walk up, turn the key, throw the door open, and give Hamid a massive hug. And I've been waiting for so long to do that. God, it's good to see you again, really.
It's good to see you too, Zolf. Hamid is a little bit hesitant about the hug, if anything.
I'm not going to RP this, but just because it's an important detail, if you were unwilling, people will have been pushing to sort of show skin and so on throughout that, like every day to check for signs and things, blah, 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 just to be clear. Like, that will have had to have happened.
Would we have had to, like, strip completely at some point each day, or...?
Pretty much. Ugh! That's the thing, is I don't want to RP it, but it is a thing where it's like, I'm really sorry, those are the rules.
Hamid doesn't really care about that, to be honest.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, Azina has really mixed feelings. If you talk to her about anything other than Harrison Campbell, she's not going to know what...
Yeah, that's fine.
And here's the other one. There's a reason I didn't want to RP this, but it's a tactical thing. Wild will have been there for those bits. He won't have said anything. He won't have reacted to anything, but he'll have just impassively waited until Zolf could convince you to go along. And just... He even if it took 3 hours, he would just stand there and give you nothing for 3 hours.
Also, Zolf is obviously super uncomfortable with it.
Yeah. Az is probably more angry at Wild than you, then.
So, the door's thrown open. Wild gestures for you to leave. He then heads towards the door, holds it open. I'm expecting you probably want a bit of space from me. When you're ready,
yes,
I'm happy to answer any questions you've got.
Right. Well...
You can finally tell us everything we've been waiting for, but yes, the bath first, please, thank you.
I'll show them through.
Perfect. Right. Wild heads out. You get to leave your small, tiny room.
Right. Almost every vertebra that Azu has, like just... I don't know how to make a cracking noise with my mouth, but they all crack.
I could do it with my neck, but I'm not going to because it's gross.
We've got sound editors for that. We can put it in if we want to.
As soon as they have any semblance of privacy, Hamid, even before taking a bath, is going to take Azu aside and just go, "Are you okay?"
Yes, that's a good point, actually.
Because he wouldn't have asked while they were in the cage and potentially being watched.
Yeah, so Zolf will also be like, look, I'm going to actually give you some space now. You're trustworthy. That's it. Fine. I'm going to go other side of the building. Just...
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'll leave.
Bye.
Are you okay? I know that whole week must have been really hard for you. I'm sorry, I wanted to be more comforting, but I felt like everything we did was being watched and it was horrible.
That's because we were being watched. I am coping. I suppose.
Okay.
Would you like to talk about anything?
I feel like everything's been said. We've got a job to do, and then we've been promised some help afterwards with finding our friends, and hopefully that happens.
Hopefully.
But I hope we get to stick together, Azu. Your friendship means a lot to me, and we've come through so much, and I want to just... Let's stay a team, you and me.
I'm not letting go of you anytime soon.
Okay, bath!
So, you both stink, by the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Whilst like a bucket and some rags has been pushed through for you to like keep yourselves cleanly and so on. No washing facilities. It is a room. So, heading up, I will just give you a broad description rather than, bit by bit. You have the run of the inn for the start. There is no one there. You notice that, you can just take stairs up to the main set of the room before. You actually come out behind a sort of hidden shelf behind the bar, of all places. But once you're up there, the innkeeper is there, and he's sort of happy to show you around and so on, and he's being super polite and respectful. There's the room that you were in before, obviously, but in addition to that, out back are some sort of exterior sort of washing basins. Turns out there's a stream nearby that they sort of take feed from. There is a sort of paper divider between the two, and there's two pools, where one for men, one for women. Additionally, there are sort of rooms upstairs if you want them for proper beds. It seems a decent place, actually. Not huge, but given that you thought you were in quite a rural area, this must be the biggest place for a decent distance. There's a sort of dining room and so on, and then down a corridor at the end is a sort of storage room, and at the very, very end there is a door ajar, and you can see Wilde is there sort of sat at a desk doing some paperwork. His door is open. When he looks up and sees you, he sort of gestures to show that the door's open, and then just stays behind the desk and stays working.
Also, Zolf's in the kitchen cooking.
Aww.
The kitchen, by the way, innkeeper is out showing you around, and then the second he basically just gestures to the kitchen and sort of, again, he doesn't seem to speak English, but he gestures that if you need food, he'll whip up something for you if you want.
Azu has reshaved her head.
I'm whipping up something for them, thank you.
He's not a fan of you in his kitchen.
Well, we bought his in, so...
You kind of did. That's why he's not a fan of you in the kitchen. Make the rolls wrong.
You don't crimp correctly.
Oh, in which case, you may be coming to an argument which is happening in different languages.
If that happens, then Az is just gonna just open it just go to the door.
I mean, in Japanese, it's a 10 crimp recipe, 6 crimps. It's madness. What have you done? Or hushed, obviously, because they want it quiet and nice for you.
Hamid takes some time in the bath to actually decompress a bit. He's not going to rush. He needs to just, now they're finally out of the fishbowl.
Because of the region that you're in, it's not hot springs or anything like that. But they are happy to sort of bring out hot water if you want it to sort of warm the place. It is hot and steaming when you are presented to it. It's a steamy bath. What, Helen? It's a hot, steamy bath with paper-thin walls.
Are there bubbles?
There are not, but there are a series of sort of salves and ointments set out on the side for both of you.
Lovely. Yeah, as it has a freshly shaven head.
Hamid finally gets to redress himself properly, and
there are basic.
You can do magic again.
Yeah, he can prestidigitate his makeup, and you know what, he's gonna actually spend some time working on a new look. The same general pieces, still a 3-piece suit kind of guy, but he thinks it's time for a slight change in colour scheme.
You do notice that a couple of, I forgot what their proper name is, not posh, basic kimono style wrap, kind of half dressing gown, half clothing. It is not it's intended for use around the inn. It's not external stuff, but it is again provided if you want it. They actually have something in your size, as
wow. Also in the anti-magic field, the purple robes will have family tree on the back will have faded.
Yeah, they will have all just become.
And Hamid will have looked less dragony during that week, and that will be coming back once they're out.
It's got a healthy brass glow.
Yes.
While you guys are bathing from outside the room, it's I brought you some food. I'm just going to leave it outside. Do you want me to? I'm going to wash your clothes, if that's okay.
I love that you can't leave it alone.
Is that?
Do what you want.
Is that a yeah? I'll leave him alone if you don't want me to. But I can wash your clothes.
That's fine, thank you, Zolf.
Yeah, and Azu, can
As it was put her head under the water, just went...
Right, I'm going to take that as a no. I'm going to put the food's out. All right, bye.
Okay, I'm going to jump time ahead to give me in broad strokes what it is you want to do. But again, the timetable for things that happen now are on you two. Okay. Everyone's very much... We have learned from experience. People like to be hands off once they've been locked in a room for 7 days, sometimes for more than a day, and that's fine. So it is on you how you want to proceed. And Wild will not make the first opportunity. He is behind that door with the door open, and if he ever goes out to say go to the loo or something, he's very clear, stays away from you, times it, and so on.
Now, I'm doing my absolute level best to be a good but unobtrusive host. I am very good at being a host. I'm very bad at being unobtrusive.
Yeah. The innkeeper's getting increasingly annoyed with Zolf as time goes by, so the longer you leave this, the more arguments you're going to run into.
Oh, lovely.
Again, I'll probably take a moment, when we've got one, to just sort of tell Azu that, Zolf did used to be a good friend, and I do trust him, and I know that what we've just been through is pretty horrible, but he's, his heart's in the right place, and I imagine we're going to end up working with him, and that's probably going to be okay if that's okay.
She's going to remain civil.
Yeah.
Fair. So, how do you want to proceed?
Yeah, I mean, Hamid's not going to need a whole day. With the decompression in the bath, have some food, have a bit of a chat with Azu.
Yeah.
He'll probably be ready in a few hours to go and see Wild and get the actual lowdown. He really badly wants to know what's going on. So.
Yeah. Azu will have washed her clothes and polished her armour, and then she'll be ready.
Okay. Do you approach him, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably go together.
Yeah.
Again, yeah.
Okay, heading down that corridor, you find he's actually in a small reading room. So there are a few, if effectively it's wicker, but there are a few chairs around the room, books on the walls and so on. It's not huge, but it is comfy, if you know what I mean. There's a writing desk. It's not splayed in papers. It's very clear that, this is a space that he's temporarily occupying. He doesn't have an office here or anything. When you come in, he stands, and that sort of blank impassivity is gone. Zolf, are you wanting to be in or out? It doesn't matter either way. It's kind of up to you and up to everyone else.
Yes, I was actually going to say that sort of as they approach, if I was already in the room, I might be talking to Wild.
Yeah, sure, go for it. Why don't we pick up there then?
Yeah, okay.
That's fine.
So basically, sort of as you approach, you hear look, you can trust them, right? Just look, they passed the test. Just maybe be a bit more civil. You're still being very standoffish, and I get it, but also
they're going to want space. You know that.
Yeah, but when you were, I know they need space, but when they come to us, just try and be a little warmer, right?
They don't like it when I'm warm.
Well, Wild, maybe
At
you
which
should...
point Azu and Hamid turn up. Wild stands, gestures for you to come in. He puts on a smile of sorts.
Creaking.
Rather awkwardly, he smiles, and you can see that whatever that scar has done, he's lost some of the movement on one side of his face, so it's more of a kind of wonky smirk. That kind of big, bright salesman smile, it's not really possible anymore.
Oh.
But he's there and he gestures, and if you're ready.
Yeah, seems like we've got a job to do, and I'd really like to understand what's going on.
Very ready.
Please, take a seat. He comes over and offers his hand to Hamid first. It is not a big hug, it's just a hand.
Hamid will shake it pretty enthusiastically. He goes, I'm not going to say the last week's been pleasant, obviously, but I do understand the need for it, and so I'm not holding any of that against you or you, Zolf. I just we'll move forward.
He buries Hamid's hand in both of his, and he's just like, I'm incredibly grateful to have you back. Then turns to Azu, offers her the same sort of hand to shake.
Okay. She shakes Wild's hand. But,
yeah, she's...
Guys, you can't act it out. It's an audio medium.
But she's like, her hands are twice the size of him.
That's true.
He's twice the size of Hamid, so...
Yeah, I mean, every time Hamid and Azu have been holding hands, it has looked just a touch ridiculous, to be honest.
But yeah,
like holding a cat.
Wild... Absolutely, yes. Wild shakes Azu's hand. I understand it's been hard. You've all done amazingly, and we're so glad to have you back. Genuinely. And then he pulls away and leans against the desk.
See, that's warm.
I am trying.
I know. Good. Well done. That was great.
Oscar, did you hear what happened to Grizzop? Sasha.
Yes, Zolfilmian.
Curie said she'd help us find out if we could... Let's just say we've got a nice incentive if it wasn't just about
Hamid?
saving the world again.
We'll find out. We'll find them regardless of how things go. I can promise you that.
Tell us what we need to do, and then
It's good to
The
see
sooner
you
we
again,
can do
Oscar, even if it's only been a week for us.
Brave New World. And I'll end the episode there. No answers for you.
Helen, it's fine. We're recording another session right after this.
That's
It's all
true.
the
The
audience
listeners
are gonna
that
have to
wait finally for some
For
real
once,
answers.
you
and
guys
things
have to wait. We get it straight away. Quick, end it.
Enjoy the downtime.
Bye!
Rusty Quill Gaming is a podcast distributed by Rusty Quill and licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 4.0 international license. Today's episode was directed by Alexander J. Newall and produced by Lowri and Davies. To subscribe, buy merchandise or join our Patreon, visit rustyquill.com. Rate and review us online, tweet us at The Rusty Quill, visit us on Facebook or email us via mail@rustyquill.com. Join our community on the Discord via the website or on Reddit at r/rustyquill. Thanks for listening.